Good morning. So, I thought I'd do what did I carry in my backpack. I was going through YouTube and there are so many. Well, what worked in my backpack? And I thought, why add another one? But I thought, well, you know, there could be 10 or a dozen people who might watch this. So I thought I'd just throw in my 2 cents. What do I know? So I've tried it a lot of different ways. And I found that carrying my junk in a backpack usually works better than carrying my stuff in my arms. So I did take a backpack with me. So being more serious, this is a Z-Packs Arc Haul backpack. I liked it a lot, worked good. I like Z-Packs products. I didn't have to worry so much about the rain because I had a poncho, and I'll go over that later. I would say it doesn't really matter. Take whatever backpack works for you, and try not to get it too big or too much weight. This backpack weighs 600 grams, which is like 20 ounces at its base weight. I've added like a few pads to it, but so it's just, you know, light. So it worked really good. One thing I would say, I put a little flag on it, and I put Bart. So it was nice when you'd walk up on someone and see where they're from. Nigel carried a Wales little tag on it. Some people carried actual little flags. But I like that. If you're going to go do the Camino, put a little flag to say, where are you from? I like the little Bart thing. There was one guy in Spain whose name was Juan Carlos. And I know that because it was on his backpack as a little patch. And I said, hey, Juan. And I just turned around and then just showed Bart. And then later that day he went, hey, Bart. so it's nice. It's nice. Don't be afraid to put where you're from. One guy had a Colorado state flag on it. Now, don't put the state flag if you're from the U.S. Just the countries that you're from. So one of the things I carried was a spoon. So I'll go over this and I'll say it up close. Be brutally honest with what you need. This is not going on an expedition. The Camino, pretty much anywhere in Spain or France, it is not going on a explorer expedition. You're in town 4, 5, 6 times a day. You're eating in cafes. You don't need spoons. You don't need, I brought a little knife, a little lightweight knife with me. And you don't need a knife either. You won't use it. You're going to be in a cafe. It's going to be very civilized. I mean, if you didn't need sleep stuff, you could really just carry it in a little butt pack. But be brutally honest with your weight. If you don't think you're going to need it, don't take it. There is no real what's in case. Let me see. I love my little just pouch here, which I put my phone into. How many times? A million, and it's still looking really good. This is done by Z-Packs. I would take that again for sure. I liked my little waist pouches. But other than that, you know, bring as light of a pack as you possibly can. You know, it doesn't really need to be more than 40 liters, probably. So I'll just start with clothing. These are 1,100 mile Ultras. I walked 1,100 miles on these, and they still look pretty good. I mean, a little bit is wearing through, but so I imagine I could get another 500 miles out of them. I brought a spare pair of these too. I thought I might bust out of these or tear them, I have finicky feet. I don't have foot problems, but I know I could if I got the wrong shoe. So I don't think it's worth carrying a spare pair of your shoes. There are shoe places in the bigger towns, and I would probably just carry maybe a pair of flip-flops or thongs as your town shoe, your Jeet shoe, your albergue shoe. But those work incredibly good. So on that line, people, please, please do not bring mountaineering boots on this trail. I don't know how many times we passed people who looked like they were going to go out on a mountaineering expedition. Mountaineering shoes that you could easily put crampons. I mean, you don't need an ice axe. You don't need a rope. You don't need mountaineering boots. And the same people who had those mountaineering boots had the worst blisters you ever saw. If there's anything that's going to get you off of this trail, it's blisters. People had the worst looking feet I've ever seen. They should be on antibiotics. I mean, it's that bad. And what's doing that is really narrow shoes that have zero flex. If you've got those kind of shoes, now, if you've worn those boots and you've got 1,000 miles on them and they never given you blisters, all right. But that's usually not the case. People would show up to the Camino with shoes they have 2 miles on and then complain that they got a blister 10 miles later. You can't do that. It's just a basic, it's a road walking trip. It's not like walking on the PCT. It's not like walking on other trails. You're walking on a road, and road walking is very tough on feet. And if the shoe is too inflexible, you will suffer. So please, I think I made that point. Please don't do that. My jacket was the Enlightened Equipment Torrent. Man, I wore this thing every day. Sometimes, I mean, there were days I never took it off. I wore it to bed a couple times because it's that cold. And the jacket looks great. I can't see that I was wearing a backpack with it. It only weighs like 7 ounces. It's super good. It packs down into a real small little bag I got for it. I definitely think you should consider some kind of puffy. A puffy is what it just sounds like. So one thing I carried the entire way was my blood pack. This is made by Hyperlight, and what I carried in that was a few things. I carried my Camino passport, so right in here. I carried my just regular passport, and I put that in a really nice waterproof case. I carried all my cash in this, and that worked excellent. And I carried all of my change in a little coin purse. I also carried a little thing to scratch your back, and that works so good. Nigel thought it was just such a great idea. He's got one in his butt pack too. Other than that, I didn't carry anything else. If I was going to just take off my phone off my backpack, I would put it in this little back pouch. So I never walked away from this pouch. It had my passport and all my cash, and it had probably my phone in it too. So I never got beyond this far away from it. So try to get into that habit there. Other things, pen. Carry a lightweight pen. If you need some extra Benadryl, carry that. A nail clipper, chapstick, but just little things in there that you might need during the day. Sunglasses, you're going to need them. The trick is finding a place to put them if it's cloudy or that. So I would carry them in my backpack on the side belt in this little bag, and that works fine. Things for your ears. The most basic one is some earplugs. Some folks swear by them in the dorms because it blocks out snoring. Problem is just closing off your ear doesn't stop you from just hearing things. A lot of the new headphones use bone conduction, so you can hear things through your bones. One way to get away from that is to wear earbuds. These are from Bose. So some people will wear their earbuds with a white noise program from their phone. So Apple has that as a standard on their phone. I forget what the settings and then blah blah something. But if you wear earbuds with the white noise from your phone, that will absolutely block out noise. But it wears your earbuds down overnight, and your phone is gonna have a lower battery in the morning. So that's the problem. One thing about this, please don't wear earphones while you're on the trail. For one thing, the birds in Spain and France are so beautiful. Probably one of the most nice memories that I have of France and Spain is the beautiful songbirds. So if you got these in your ear, you can't hear that. Number two is if anyone says hi or just has a question, you don't even know it. So I would say leave these out. I do have some bone conduction headphones. I didn't wear them once I started hiking with Nigel because we talked the entire day. So it was why am I even wearing them? So the bone conduction headphones I have are made by a company called Shocks, S-H-O, K-S. They work really good, but the great thing about them is that you can hear while you're listening to things. If someone is talking to you for an hour, it doesn't make sense, but if just someone walks up to you and says hi, or you can hear a car coming up in the back of you, they work really good. I would listen to podcasts, I would listen to books on tape. So if you're walking alone, they work really good. Socks, I carried 2 pair of Darn Tough socks. They last the entire way. Darn Tough well, they're darn tough. You don't need 3 pairs. Maybe you don't even need 2 because you can wash things out every night. Remember, you're not in a tent. You're in a hotel, a gîte, an albergue, a bed and breakfast. There's plenty of ways to wash things out. A buff, I did take a buff, and if you're going in, I went in April and May, and believe me, it was cold. There was days it was just darn cold, just biting cold. The buff is just so good, and I'll share some of what Nigel used to. He also loved his buff. I did carry a mid layer. This is a mid layer by what was it? Light Hard Gear. Didn't use it at all. Didn't use it one time. I pretty much just wore this one shirt by Patagonia. I think their version is called the Tropic. Got a little shark, so it's bad. I would just wear this, and if I got cold, this. I mean, I did have a lightweight wind shirt too. So my various cold levels start here if I'm cold, and the wind shirt. This is made by Z Packs, and I loved it. I wore it every day. It's just a great thing to have, man. It maybe weighs 2 ounces. It's just like air. So if I were cold, then just this, add that. If I were still cold, you add that. If I was still cold, I could put my poncho on, just even if it's not raining. So that was more than enough. So I didn't need to bring this at all. I would never bring that again. Now, if you're in the summertime, maybe you don't need a puffy. I don't know, but this weighs lighter than this does. So, and it packs down and it's so small. Even in the summer, I can see it. There are times it would get cold, and it just depends what your pain level is. If you don't like being cold, then you should bring something. If you're okay with being cold for an hour or 2 or 3, it's what's the level of comfort that you think you want. Other clothes, I wore these shorts the entire way. These were my only shorts that I did hike in. They were I bought them online from Amazon. I don't even know who makes them. They're kind of a stretchy material, which I liked. I did bring some just fleece gloves. These are from Outdoor Research. Really nice. I liked them. You definitely need gloves of some sort. I have some other mittens too, which I got from REI, and they're Gore-Tex. I did use them a few times when it was pouring down rain, and I had my poncho on with the gloves. Otherwise, they're just really good if it's just windy and cold. Just them as a windbreak would not work. And these are also just like air. I never go out on a trip. I don't care where it is without a pair of these gloves. So town clothes. Yes, you want to be able. You've got to have at least one pair of shorts to hike in. And then when you get to the gîte or the albergue, they're just probably sweaty. So you're going to wash those and put on another pair of shorts. Now I carry these are Patagonia baggies, and they work great. They're light. They dry quickly. So have some kind of short for town. You don't need 5 pairs of shorts for town. I mean, really just a pair of clothes to walk in and a pair of clothes for town. That's it, shirt, shorts. I didn't have long pants the entire time, and I caught stuff for that in France. Where's your pants? Well, I don't have the luxury of carrying a pair of pants. And I thought it was going to be a lot hotter than it was. It never really got hot the entire, maybe 2 days it got, hot. So other things, I did carry a little bandana in my waist band, my waist pocket. I did wear a pair, these are Enlightened Equipment wind pants. So if I wanted to wash both pair of shorts at once, what do you wear? Well, I got some very lightweight wind pants. And these also maybe weigh 2 ounces. I mean, so they work good enough. I never had to wear them because I was cold, but I did wear them when I wanted to wash everything at once. It's not too common to find a washer and dryer. Definitely there are no dryers. That doesn't exist in France or Spain. Everybody dries stuff out on a line. Even if you're living in a basically nice house, they still dry things out on a line. Other things, a towel. Yes, you're going to need some kind of towel to take a bath with. Most of the places Nigel and I stayed gave us towels, so that wasn't a problem. But I did have to use this like 4 or 5 times. Sea to Summit has a real nice microfiber towel, which is like yay by yay. I would look up that. Other things I didn't use, a bug net. I didn't get bitten by any bugs once. I didn't see any mosquitoes. So I wouldn't take this again. I also had just a little tiny container of bug juice. I wouldn't take that again either. Now, are there bugs in Spain in June? Or, I don't know because I wasn't there. But in April and May, I never saw any bugs that were biting bugs. This was a just Sea to Summit clothesline. I never even used it once. There's always a clothesline in gîtes or albergues, and if not, I just laid them out on the radiator if it was on. I did have a little case for my sunglasses to just put them in my hip belt. Just headlamp. Normally I would say I never leave without this in my backpack, but I didn't use it once. We never hiked in the dark. I never left it before dawn. I wouldn't take it again, and that's really odd for me to say because I love these things. But it's not, you're not going on a forest trail. This is in the street. If it's that dark, then you got to rethink how you're doing it. If you need a light, my phone has a great light. So for that one moment that you might need it, so I wouldn't take that again. I love these little teeny Victorinox one because it's got like a little knife and scissors. I did use it. It got through TSA. I forgot about it. I guess it just didn't look like a knife. But there's no guarantee that yours would get through. So I would say maybe buy a knife at your first store, and you're probably gonna have to throw it away or give it to, and that's another point. There are no hiker boxes. This isn't America. On the AT, on the PCT, there's a box pretty much everywhere where just hikers sleep. I never saw one in France or Spain. So you just can't give things away unless you just are in a bunch of folks who are on the trail and say, hey, anybody want this? But other than that, there's not a box. What else? So I did take some teeny little clothesline thing. I used them once or twice. It was a funny story. Nigel and Paul hung their stuff out. We were on the third floor. This was in Lyon, I think. And their stuff was wet when they put it up on the railing. But as it dried, it got lighter, and then Paul's pants flew off, and the stuff flew down on the next lower balcony. So they were able to get the stuff off the balcony, but just somebody grabbed Paul's pants before he could get down. I mean, who takes pants off the road? Anyway, if you're gonna, hang stuff out where you can't retrieve it quickly, I would have some kind of clothespin. I took some extra razors. I thought I would just use. They're the ones I like. Super light. Yeah, it's fine. First aid kit, repair kit. Yeah, don't take much. I mean, there's a pharmacy in every town, and you really don't need much. Maybe some blister stuff. I kind of want to say that, boy, if you like taking things like Benadryl or other stuff that you can buy in any grocery store in America, it almost doesn't exist in pharmacies. I went into just several looking for an ACE wrap, and I showed that in one of my videos, like in the first part of France. They don't have them. I was not able to find an ACE wrap at any pharmacy anywhere. So I had to do with just some of the other one-time use stuff. But if you like ACE wraps, take two, because man, they don't exist. This was a good idea, I thought, at the time. It's a little clip that you can clip on to like your backpack or your just shower stuff. Didn't use it once, so it's a great concept. I can see it would work good, but I didn't use it. That's probably because Nigel and I spend a lot of time in just private rooms. I can see if you were just going to go and do just dormitories. Dormitories have more bare-end showers, and you might want to have like your passport and your wallet there right inside the shower, because boy, you don't want to ever walk away from that. A phone charger and a bunch of different cords. Yes, you absolutely will need that. A battery bank? No, you don't need it. There's an outlet. Every town has some kind of outlet somewhere. It's not a real light thing. I think even this is like 6 ounces. I forget, and it's the carbon fiber stuff. But you don't need it. Do not bring. Now, if you're some kind of major power user on trail, you watch videos while you walk. Yeah, I guess so. But man, every town you're going to stop at a cafe to get lunch. They're going to have an outlet. It's just not worth the wait. But definitely a power charge, a power outlet, or some way to plug in your phone. Poop kit. Yes, you've got to take one. This doesn't weigh anything. It's just toilet paper, some wet ones. I brought like a little doggy bag thing. Luckily, I didn't have to have an emergency while I was on the trail. There was always a cafe or a bar that we stopped in, and they always had a toilet. And the toilets were actually very nice. I was shocked that really, very nicely done, modern, clean. Yeah, good. A cup. You don't need a cup. There's a cup in every cafe. There's a cup. They're nice. We use them on the trail because you're making cocoa or you're making soup. You don't need a cup. I carried this, which is the basic, it's a backpack airplane bag. I use this I check my backpack in on the plane, and I put my backpack in side of this. It's made by Z Packs, and it survived the toughest of times. I would definitely recommend some kind of bag. What if you want to ship something? Nigel's at that point where he would like to ship part of his stuff to the next place or such. But if you don't have a lightweight bag, what are you going to put it in? It's not cheap, but boy, it's durable, and boy, it's light. I think it's like 2 ounces, so definitely worth it. Laundry bag. I did carry a little laundry bag. Yeah, I used it a couple times. If you're going to wash your bag with a bunch of your friends, maybe. But it was just Nigel and me. I didn't have 8 other people trying to throw all their stuff into the wash at once. Nigel knew what his stuff was, and I knew what mine. I didn't even use it. I wouldn't bring it again. I brought some Starbucks Via packs. Yeah, I used them a couple times. Yes, they're light. You know, if coffee is that important to you, then yeah. Hiking poles, trekking poles. Boy, this is a tough one. If you're going to check your bag, that's fine. If you think you're going to put your bag in carry-on, not going to work. They're not going to let you go on board because they're dangerous. You might poke someone with it. I checked my bag, so I put these in. These are the Gossamer Gear LT5s, I think. Man, they're light. And I was shocked at how good. Buy the little. These come with it, but they have that little pad on it. Nobody wants to hear you going click, 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 click down the road. So these pads kind of stop that. And look how little use or just wear there is on. That's like, I probably use them like 500 miles total. So man, they're good to have. I use them totally going up the just Pyrenees and down. I use them from Le Puy to Conques because it is just a lot of this kind of stuff. They save your knees. It's much easier for me to climb with poles. So I would bring those again. Sleeping stuff. Now, the places we stayed at were the kind of places where they gave you sheets and there was like a blanket on top and a towel. But we did stay at a few dorms, and one dorm gave you like a little paper sheet that you just throw in the trash can when you're done. But so one thought is just to carry. This is a silk liner from Western Mountaineering. It's light. I had it treated with permethrin. If you're worried about bed bugs, I never saw any. Nigel never saw any. We traveled in the spring. And they say bed bugs are worse in the fall, so I guess that's because they've had time during the entire summer and people. But I think I used it once. And would I take it again? Yes, because you never, that's one of those things that if you sleep cold, and I do, it can really make a big difference in getting a good night's sleep or just sitting there and going like this the entire night. So I also carried a sleeping bag liner. This is done by Z Packs. The whole thing weighs 10 ounces. I used it several times. Again, I went in April and May, and it's much colder. So Nigel is still walking. He's walking back to France, and he says it's pretty warm. So you might not need this in June, July, August. Probably don't. Maybe this would just be enough. I mean, there were probably 2 or 3 nights I wore this too, because it's just that freezing cold. And Jeets and albergues just don't know what heat is. Even though there's radiators in the room, they were never on. So you gotta exist. And they have blankets, but man, there was a couple nights that I would require 4 or 5 blankets because it was just freezing cold. But I mean, so this is a luxury item. They do make like I think Sea to Summit has a reactor, which is about the same weight. I think it's about 10 ounces, which probably work just fine too. And you can treat that with permethrin. But really probably just that might work. And an albergue Jeet blanket, probably 90% of the time. So do you need this? I bring it again, but it's already bought and paid for. The nice thing about this is that you can pair this. So say you've got a 40-degree bag and you're going to go out on a real trail and camp, and it might get down into 30s. You can pair your 40-degree bag with this liner and probably be okay down to about 20 degrees. So it does do a double duty. It's not just a one-off. You can use it in other places. Little backpack. This is a Cedar Summit. I use this on the plane because I checked my backpack. I use this on the plane to carry a puppy and my battery charger because I knew I might need that, and a toothbrush, and just anything that I thought I would need if they somehow didn't know where my backpack was, which they always do. I mean, they're not going to lose it. Which by the way, I did tape a Apple Air tag to the inside of my backpack. It's still there. So I always knew where my backpack was when it was being shipped in the planes. So I could tell, oh, it's in the plane with me. Oh, it's a block away. So I always knew where it was. You probably buy two and just put them in other stuff. But so on the plane, I wore this and this, and then and if you go into a grocery store shopping, you would carry this because it's kind of hard to carry stuff, and they don't just give you bags now. It's not free. So I would definitely recommend that. Boy, it's like 2 ounces. I mean, and it does pack down into itself. Inside here is like a little bag. So that's the bag that it packs down into. It's not always the quickest thing to put it in the bag, but it does go down into that. Here's one. A umbrella. Works great for the sun. Works great for the rain. When it was pouring really hard, I would pair it with the poncho, because I've got my fancy way of attaching that to the strap. But boy, Nigel loves his. I mean, it's just serious love. He won't take a second to think about trying to get it on his pack. If it's sunny, if it's hot, if it's starting to rain, he loved it. So I would take this again. This one is by Gossamer Gear. I think it's 7 ounces, and it's definitely worth the weight. So speaking of ponchos, this is mine. This is done by Altus. It's the Altus. I think it's the version is the atmospheric. So this is in an extra large. If you can see the little tag right there. When you look at what a raincoat weighs, and rain pants, and backpack cover, they weigh probably at the same as this or more. This is about 12 ounces. It's got the Ultra Seal coating on it. It works amazingly well. I probably will never use the raincoat, backpack cover, kilt, or rain pants again. It's so versatile. I'll make a separate video on how to use this, but man, it works good. I think it was $70. I got it from Ivar in Spain, and works amazing. One thing I brought, which you don't need, some kind of pad liner mat. You don't need it. You're going to be in hotels, in jeets, in albergues. You're going to be sitting in cafes. You don't need something to sit on. It's just one more thing to carry around and mess with. Do not bring some kind of pad like this. You're not going to be sitting on wet logs like we do on American trails. So that's why we bring little foam pads. You're not going to be just sleeping on the ground. Don't bring it. And one point is, you're in a foreign country. If you're from America or Canada or Mexico or anywhere outside the European Union, you just can't ship stuff home. I mean, you can. You got to fill out forms. You got to pay duty. It's going to cost you $40–50 to mail something, and you probably will get home before the box gets home because it's stuck in duty or in customs. So you're really stuck with it if you're there in Spain and you don't want to carry it anymore. Your only choice is to ship it forward to the next spot forever. You could mail some things to Ivar. He will do that. I think it's 70 euros. He'll hold something for you until you get to the end. But boy, you better be sure of that. If it costs you 40 euros or $40 in America, is it worth what in US dollars, 80 US dollars to ship something that costs $40. So really pay attention to that and don't bring things that you aren't willing to throw in a trash can. Which brings me to plan B. Plan B is forget everything I said and just ship your stuff. Bring 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. Bring 3 or 4 pairs of shorts and long pants. Bring whatever you want and just plan on shipping. What does that cost? It's surprisingly cheap. About €4 was the cheapest I saw. Usually it was €6. One time it was 8. That is a definite thing. And I don't have a count, but I bet you at least 60% of people that we passed had the tiny backpacks. Some people carried it like in a shopping bag. Yeah, the trail. And this is mainly for the Camino Francés. They go to pretty much every town. There's 2 or 3 companies, Jocko Trans and such things. You can bring a normal size suitcase. I think their top limit is 50 pounds, so 25 kilos. So that's a real consideration. If you feel like you don't want to take that kind of risk of getting too much or too little, then just ship it. And it's so much easier on your back, so much easier on your knees. A lot of people we saw were not in hiking condition, to say the least. These are not people that are going to go out on the Appalachian Trail or the PCT next month. These are people, I was surprised that they could walk from one town to another. I mean, they're that out of shape. So if that's you, I would definitely recommend shipping your stuff. If you're only carrying a 5-pound backpack that just got maybe a raincoat and your water and a snack, it's going to be so much easier and a lot of the people on the Francés are not young. They're probably 50 years old and above. Probably the oldest person I saw was probably 80. I think Peter was 78. So yeah, when you get up in the 80s, it's tough. That's where a bed like this comes in, that you can kind of play around with it. But I would probably say the most reasonable way to do this is just to bring a suitcase and ship your stuff. So again, I hope you like that. And if you have any questions, just post them below and I'll answer you right back. Bye-bye.